Yesterday, we were reporting on the fall of Mariupol, which of course had become this symbolic struggle of resistance by the Ukrainians. Ukraine has extended martial law for 3 months until the 23rd of August. The rule was voted by an absolute majority in the Ukrainian parliament as Russia continues its offensive on the eastern Donbass region. And it follows news earlier today that President Zelensky will not agree to a ceasefire deal that involves giving up any territory. Well, joining us now is Sviatoslav Yurash. He is a Ukrainian MP for the Servant of the People Party, and he's the youngest MP ever to be elected to the Ukrainian parliament. Sviatoslav, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, yesterday, we all reported on the news of the surrender at Mariupol. I mean, how big a moment is this, and how are you feeling in Ukraine about this event?
What we are witnessing in Mariupol is modern-day Thermopylae. As in the ages past, you had 300 Spartans in the telling of Herodotus standing up to a much larger Persian horde, so is now a Ukrainian city, which is only 500,000 inhabitants, with less than 10,000 Ukrainian soldiers standing up to a Russian horde, which is as numerous as can be imagined when you look at the numbers, look at the fact they're the second army on the planet. They held the Russian advance for months and months and months, allowing Ukraine to mobilize, allowing us to win battles around Kiev, around Sumy, around Chernihiv, around Kharkiv. These people are is indeed Ukraine's most valuable. So we negotiated, and the surrender of theirs hopefully will continue with Russia, at least fulfilling some of its commitments there and allowing us to see our heroes once again.
And so, I mean, obviously people will be upset about this, but it hasn't made people feel deflated, or it doesn't make you feel that this is a turning point?
The turning point is for Russia. They couldn't even take a city 500,000 people. When you imagine cities that are on their way as they're trying to conquer Ukraine, these cities are millions strong, and they are as industrial as Mariupol, and where the Azovstal plant took the Russian advances and Russian barrages for months on end. They will have many more Azovstals on their way. So I'm sure it's the Russians have to consider what it will take when they are trying to destroy our nation.
Mm. And, there's been lots of talk about, what is the end point? We've had some interventions, probably quite unhelpful interventions from some commentators saying, OK, a deal needs to be done. I mean, what are the chances of any kind of deal happening? What would it take to get Ukraine to the negotiating table with Russia? What would your asks be?
Ukraine has been negotiating table since before the start of the conflict, and it continues to be. And Russia's demands for Ukraine to essentially destroy its sovereignty, independence, or to give up on some of those millions of people that Russia has occupied and has taken hostage is something they will never see as agreeable. Obviously, the end point is very clear: Russia leaving Ukraine to decide its own future. And with all the losses that Ukrainian nation has taken so far, paying for the damages it has done. But again, Russia needs convincing, and we are giving that convincing every single day on the battlefield, as we'll continue pushing back at the Russian forces that are showing their true reality every single day.
Mm. And Sviatoslav, you are, the youngest MP in Ukraine. How has this war changed the prospects for Ukrainian young people?
Well, Ukraine's youth obviously has the choice to make right now, and believe me, innumerable Ukrainians are taking to the battlefield. Innumerable Ukrainians are fighting and dying, doing everything they can to sustain our war effort. This is a historical event of unprecedented proportion, not just for Ukraine, not just for Europe, but for the world. And obviously it shall define us for generations, remembering our great-grandfathers who fought in the Second World War and won. It is our time to fight and win.
Well, look, we're really grateful for your time this afternoon. Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
That was Sviatoslav Yurash, a Ukrainian MP for the Servant of the People party.